All right, so there's guys out there who know that they should be putting themselves out there, especially on the dating side, right? They should be going out. They should be, if they find someone attractive, they should ask them out on a date. Say, on the skill side as well, maybe they want to learn fighting. They know they should be going out. They should be going to their MMA gym. They should be going to their boxing gym. They always promise themselves, oh, I'm going to go to this social event, but, they procrastinate on that as well. And they just convince themselves with this false ego saying, oh, I'm a real good looking guy. I should just have dates coming to me or something like this, right? And they constantly procrastinate. Again, they don't go to the boxing gym. Maybe they go like once a month and then they procrastinate on the rest of it. And on the outside, they may look fine, but on the inside, they're absolutely miserable. Miserable, but they're just hiding behind this comfort ego. Oh, I'm good looking, I can fight. But on the inside, they're scared and they don't really believe it. Whereas there's other guys out there who don't take life so serious and they just seem to be winning in every single aspect. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'll talk about why your ego is slowly ruining your life, or at least it was slowly ruining my life for the past 5 years until I figured all this shit out that I'm going to share with you in this video. So I really hope this helps you out. And without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly I was at a party, right? And this is back in the day, a few years ago. Now, just to set some context beforehand, I should clarify that throughout my life, right, I've never been like the cool guy or the guy who got a lot of dates and stuff. So I had an absolute garbage dating life all throughout elementary school, high school, college. I was never like good looking. Anytime I'd ask a girl out, usually I would end up getting rejected. And, I was like a chubby little kid who was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 all day. So looks were never really my strong suit, right? And at this point, what had happened was I had lost some weight and I'd gotten a new haircut and I showed up to this party, right? And there was this one girl out there who really liked me, and there was a couple other girls as well who were calling me like real good looking and stuff. And that was like a huge boost to my ego because again, before that, basically like no time in my life had I ever had that happen. And my ego was built that day. Of course, I already had an ego before too, based on different factors, but my ego around the fact that I'm good looking was built that day, and that was just there. Now, again, important point to note here is up until this point, hell, even after this point for a few years, I had an absolute garbage dating life, right? But now my ego was built. I was like, oh, I'm so good looking. I'm the good looking guy now. And I would never put myself out there. And the reason I wouldn't put myself out there is because even though on the outside I'd be like, yeah, I'm good looking, whatever, I didn't truly believe it. And I was so scared of putting myself out there and potentially getting rejected and having that facade break, right? Where it was like when in the few times I would put myself out there and then I'd get rejected. I'd be like, "Oh, am I not looking good anymore? Is my jawline not as sharp anymore?" And it would send me into like these negative spirals of questioning my own self worth, and of course on the look side, on other sides as well. This leads me to the first point, which is stop taking yourself so serious. Right? Look, I'm 25 now. I'm almost 26, and I would say for the last 5 plus years of my life, because I had built this ego around, oh, this good looking guy and all this, I wouldn't put myself out there because like, again, I was so scared of that facade breaking, right? I guess it meant more to me to hold on to that facade rather than just accept that, yeah, some people won't find me attractive. Some people will reject me for other reasons, right? Rejection is just a part of this dating game. But again, my ego just wanted to hold on so bad to this facade that I didn't put myself out there for like 5 plus years. And let me tell you what happened for those 5 plus years. No dates started randomly showing up at my door. Nothing like that happened. And back then, I thought, oh, if I have abs, then everything will change. Then I won't have to, approach and all this, go out and go up to people and say, ask them out on dates. Basically, I thought it would just magically fix everything. If I have abs, then I'll be really attractive, and my DMs will be blowing up or something. Well, I got abs, and then I was like, and nothing really changed, not too much anyway. And then after that, I was like, oh, it's the money. I need more money, right? So now I make 6 figures. And still, last I checked anyway, there's no dates showing up at my door, right? So again, I wasted 5 plus years of my life just hiding behind this ego, taking myself so damn seriously. And I hope I can pass this message across that A, stop taking yourself so damn seriously. And B, rejection is normal. Rejection is a part of life. And trust me, if I knew a way that I could share with you where you could improve your dating life and your social life and many other aspects of life, in fact, which we'll touch on in a little bit, without getting rejected, I would share it with you because I'm lazy. And I don't like, it's not like I love rejection. It's not like I love constantly putting myself out there. There's nothing fun about it. I know some people are like, oh, you should be excited about it. And like, no, but I never quite got to that point, right? I still hate it every time it happens. It stings every time it happens. But I've just realized there is no option B, right? You have to put yourself out there. And as you put yourself out there, yes, you'll get rejected. And this ego you've built around, whether it's something similar to me, where you're like, oh, I'm very good looking, and every time you get rejected, that ego takes a bit of a hit, and then it doesn't want to put itself out there anymore, right? Or maybe you've built your ego around something else. Point is, it will crumble. It will crumble, right? When you put yourself out there, it probably will crumble. That's just the way it is. And part of the issue here is on this in the self improvement space. There's some people who try to sell you the fact that you can somehow avoid this. It's like, oh, buy my course on how to never get rejected. Use this one line to never get rejected. Like, no, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people. Those people put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us whatsoever. Look, they just want your money. They just want your money. That's it. They want to sell you the course. They want to line their pockets, and they're gonna move on selling some other garbage, right? This is the reality of the situation. Rejection is something we have to embrace. I'm not saying you have to love it. I still don't love it, right? I still don't love it. It still stings every time, but it is something we have to embrace. It's a part of the process towards growth and actually getting results, again, whether it's on a dating side or some other side. Now, another thing that I remember is I was on the SkyTrain, which is basically like a subway, right? So I was on the subway with my friends, a few of my friends, just a few years ago. And this guy comes onto the subway, right? And this was Halloween. So he's wearing like this mafia guy costume and he's holding a cigar. And I looked at my friend, I was like, yo, that's a cool costume, right? That's all I said. I didn't say anything offensive. And this guy, he seemed like a real macho, like, a wannabe alpha type of guy. So then he looks at me. He was a big guy, though. He looks at me and then he tells me to apologize. I'm like, what am I going to apologize for? I didn't say anything offensive. And then I don't remember exactly, a few more words were exchanged. And then he's like, if you don't apologize, I'm going to drag you out of the SkyTrain, et cetera, et cetera. And all my friends were like, yo, just apologize, bro. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm sorry. And that incident, it may not sound like a big incident, but that incident has stuck with me for a long time, right? It stuck with me for a long time. And it basically, I felt, honestly, I felt like less of a man after that happened, right? Just to be completely honest with you. And to this day, a part of my ego is still hurt by it. And from that, you know, I had these common thought patterns that I think other guys have too, though. To be honest, I haven't talked that much about it so with other guys, so I don't know if they have it, but I do feel it's a common thing where it's like, when you get in this conflict situation or maybe a bit of an argument, you're like, yeah, I could kick this guy's ass or something like this. You start thinking like this a little bit, right? But the point I'm making is that is also a part of the ego, right? That's also why I put off, like, I wanted to be a good fighter for so long, especially after an incident like that happened. Because what if it did turn violent? I don't incite violence, but the point is you should be able to defend yourself, right? That's any human being with common sense would agree with that, right? And at that point, well, I didn't have a lot of fighting skills, so I'm not sure what would have happened, right? And boxing and martial arts, these will give you those self-defense skills. But I didn't put myself out there for the longest time either. I procrastinated going to the boxing class, going to the martial arts class, right? Because again, it was my ego. I was so afraid of looking silly out there. I was so afraid of looking silly out there, so afraid of getting my ass kicked, right? Because that's what will happen. You'll get humbled, right? There's going to be people much better than you. You're going to be fighting with them, and of course, they'll mess you up until you get better, right? They'll mess you up until you get better, and you're going to be to less experience. And as you get more experience, of course, you'll get better. But this kind of goes back to the concept of rejection and how your ego is going to build this front in front of you. And a lot of guys have this front. I know this firsthand. I'm sure you know it too from your friends, etc. They were like, "Oh yeah, if something happened, yeah, I'd fight. Yeah, I'd knock the other guy out, bro." It's like, no, you wouldn't. You don't have any fighting experience. So it's this, again, it's this fake facade, it's this fake ego that just wants to prevent us from the pain of rejection, prevent us from the pain of looking stupid, right? And every time I go to my boxing gym or martial arts gym, still, I feel uncomfortable, right? I do, because it's not like I was born fighting, born on the streets or something like this. Like, I'm just a regular guy, right? I'm just a regular guy, and what that means is when I'm there's always that negative part of me still going on. I don't quite fit in here. I don't know if I can fight and all this, and that's all still going on. Maybe I'm not tough enough to do this, whatever it may be. But I still put myself out there. And yes, sometimes I look silly. Sometimes I get rocked. I had my first fight a few weeks ago, and honestly, I got beat pretty bad. But now I've grown. Now I feel more confident, and now I'm like, okay, when I get hit with a real hard punch, I can take that. I know that now because I've literally lived it. But again, for the longest time, my ego was just in front, constantly making me avoid that because it was scared of the rejection. Right? It's like, oh, you don't need to go to boxing today. You know, it's you didn't eat enough. You didn't eat enough calories. Oh, you didn't sleep 8 hours last night. Like, no, bro. Again, it kind of all goes back to the concept of rejection. Your self, at least in my experience, will build up facade and excuse because it doesn't want to put itself out there to potentially have this perfect self-image that maybe you've created. I had definitely created of like, oh yeah, I'm this real good-looking tough guy and I can always fight. And it's like it doesn't want that to crumble. But for growth, it has to crumble. And part of the issue here is again these people who just will not accept this reality, and they'll say, oh yeah, if there's a fight, yeah, I just see red, bro. Oh, you had a boxing fight and you lost? Like, that's kind of pathetic, bro. Like, I would have just seen red and dropped bodies. Like, no, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people. These people put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us whatsoever. And trust me, anyone who's actually walked the path, like any like true martial artists I know, true fighters I know, true boxers I know, they agree with the train of thought I'm presenting rather than what, oh, I just see red, I knock people out. Any martial artist, in fact, not even just martial artists in any field, even like improving social life, dating life, etc. Right? Even getting a job, right? Anyone who's gotten good at it will tell you, yeah, it comes with a whole lot of losses, a whole lot of bruises to the ego, and a whole lot of rejection. That's just the process, right? I'm walking through it right now. So again, I don't mean to say this is like some super easy thing and it doesn't hurt. It does hurt. You know, rejection is almost never fun, but it's essential to growth. It's a non-negotiable, right? This is not an option. We have to walk this path. Now, I just want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process, right? As far as my background, I started off the self-improvement stuff maybe when I was 17 or 18. And ever since then, to be honest, I started from a very negative place because, you know, again, my dating life was absolute garbage. I was never the cool kid. So I was trying to scratch that itch of inadequacy almost, feeling inadequate, trying to scratch that itch. I never really liked myself. I mean, I borderline hated myself throughout most of my self-improvement journey, if I'm being completely honest, right? And I was always so negative on myself. Say I didn't quite get a grade that I wanted, I'd be like, "Oh my God, you're so stupid, bro! Like what the hell?" Or if I went to the gym and missed a PR, oh, well, that's so pathetic. Like, you know, and I was so constantly negative to myself, and I was caught in so many negative thought cycles. Like, NoFap is one thing that I've talked about many times on this channel. I have other videos about it, but that's one thing I struggle with majorly. Right, I would stay on it for a bit, feel better, relapse, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so pathetic. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm not even taking this serious," and just get caught in these negative thought cycles. And so much of those guilt cycles, negative thought cycles, were absolutely counterproductive, greatly counterproductive to my growth. So I hope I can help you avoid that path. Right? Just keep on putting yourself out there. Keep on showing up day in, day out, day in, day out. Keep on putting in the hard work and keep it positive. Right? And hard work always pays off. This will be no exception. Right? Every single day you show up, be proud of yourself for showing up because a lot of people will start the self improvement stuff. Right? Whether it be improving your career, dating life, fighting, whatever. But not a lot will see you through to the end. So be proud of yourself every single day you show up. And in no time, you'll achieve your goal. Now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it, and your dating life is now improving day by day by day. You started to take your career serious, right? Whatever it may be, whether it's entrepreneurship, studies, doesn't matter. You started to take that serious, and now your money is growing day by day by day, right? And say you had a similar goal to me where you wanted to become a better fighter. You've shown up to boxing, martial arts, whatever it is, day in, day out, day in, day out. You've taken your losses. You've taken the rejection, bruises to the ego, and literal bruises too. And now you find yourself in a conflict situation and you're standing there confident, right? You're no longer timid, scared. You can stand there confidently, right? And that confidence was built up from those rejections and being able to overcome that adversity, right? And most importantly, your self-esteem and confidence in yourself is improving day by day by day because you're putting yourself first. You're doing the things you've promised yourself for so long you would do. You're finally doing them. And your confidence is improving day by day by day. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Hey, keep working hard. I believe in you, but what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. And just to be transparent, what I'm trying to do here, right, is right now I have a job, and honestly, I like my job, pays well, all that good stuff, but I feel like the passion from it is missing. And as I've started doing this YouTube stuff, I found passion for it, like the self improvement stuff I've been passionate about for years. And in these videos, I just try to talk to my old self and try to give the best advice that I can, right? And I found a passion for it. And ideally, I want to start making this my career, right? So any support, like, comment, subscribe, all that support will greatly help me make that dream a reality. So please do support me on that end, and I appreciate all the support. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.